This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
Truly.
Are we recording?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have an update from last week's story, my story last week.
Yeah.
With the guy who called our friend a cunt whenever he did not show up to her date.
Yeah.
That guy. So I got an update about that situation. First of all, he listens to our podcast, so sorry that I was a little rough on you. But
no apologies. I was really nice.
You were actually very nice.
I was the nicest one.
You were the nicest
I was
one.
sticking up for you. I just wanted to be said that Cassie was sticking up for you.
And Christina was playing the middle. I was on the fence.
I mean, and honestly, I stand by everything I said because I think it's true, but we do have a follow-up on this on this guy. So she says, one, I did want you to know that he did eventually realize he had never actually said the words, "I'm sorry."
Ooh, that one I like.
And
I like.
he realized it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Nice.
He currently volunteers at a women's shelter where he works, where he met a woman who works there and has been able to find love and help women who have been battered and or are escaping a bad situation. Two, we are friends in person, not just Facebook friends, and have had many discussions about the use of certain words and how even though his intentions are good, he comes off sounding problematic. One thing I said to him was his use of the word hysteria. And she kind of educated him on calling women hysterical because that is a very complicated history behind that word. He had no idea about how that word in particular was used against women and how women were thrown into asylums for hysteria and madness. In jest, I made the suggestion that he should take a women's study class, and he said, and I quote, "I will if you take it with me because I think the root of my problem is I'm terrified of women."
Aww.
So they are taking a women's studies class together. So he has definitely learned a lot. And, I think that he deserves props for that because a lot of people do problematic shit and aren't able to, one, either recognize that their shit is problematic, or two, even if they recognize it, a lot of times your ego gets in the way and prevents you from actually apologizing and making changes.
That's huge.
So
I do think too that the climate these days is so cancel culture that we're unwilling to give people the space and the compassion to learn and to grow and to change. So kudos to her for really letting this guy, prove that he had changed and growing with him and offering him friendship and compassion.
Right, so, because he did. I mean, I think that there's a line, right? Like you want to give people second chances. And I think it's good to give people second chances. If they continue to willfully and continually fuck up constantly, then I think it's okay to cut them out of your life. But in this case, he was able to demonstrate to her that he is making strides. He wants to be a better person.
Right.
And he's actively working on himself. And that's really cool. A lot of people don't do that. It's a hard thing to do. So he did listen to the episode and he texted her and he said, "Oh boy, I really was an asshole, wasn't I?" Listen, he knows. He knows. Okay. He came with it. He's grown.
Oh man.
And I just wanted to give that update because, since we had a whole conversation about it last time, it is good to know that people are capable of change. So starting this episode off with a hopeful note.
I like it.
Well, on that hopeful note.
Oh no. Are you about to drag us down? Or?
Bring it on down.
I shared on the Facebook group this week, I went for a hat trick. And Cassie, you're a fan of sports.
I am.
So you know what a hat trick
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Hat trick is 3 goals in 1 game. So, or that's what I thought. Am I right in that?
It's a hockey term.
Oh, okay. Is it?
Hack trick is, I think it's kind of like, I think it is a three for basically.
It is a 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 dates, 1 night. It was a random Wednesday night. I was going
You also
for
started one date at like 10:30 p.m. I was
Yes.
like, Jesus
That was the
Christ.
last one.
So yeah, 3 successes of the same kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially consecutive ones. Right.
Yep. So I had early drinks at 7 with somebody, and then I had a phone date at 9 with the captain.
Okay.
And then 10:30. The captain. That's what Keegan said.
We
that
discussed that.
Yeah, we were gonna call. I'll blur his name out. The captain.
Yes.
So for many reasons. But I pulled it off. I made it to all three dates. They weren't bad. Nothing to share on the podcast. The main thing, I guess,
wait,
I'm bringing
it was
this
like
up.
you did coffee, you did a regular date, and then like a late date, right? Is that what you said?
A coffee, a phone date.
Oh, phone date. That's right.
And then a late date. Yeah. So
I'm like, I believe in you.
I know.
God, I don't know how you have the stamina. Truly.
It's honestly to throw it completely out there, I have caught feelings for the captain, and so I have thrown myself into dating more in order
to
distract myself and to be super cool, which sucks because it's that weird beginning where it's too soon to be all in, but you're not
interested in anybody else.
In dating other people, and henceforth am going out on terrible dates. So am I the question posed, am I the asshole for going out on a bunch of dates with people? I've been upfront with the people that I'm going out to meet that I'm soups cash.
Yeah.
I think if you're being honest, then no. I think if you were going into these dates knowing nothing's going to happen, but acting like it was and getting someone's hopes up potentially,
right,
then I would say yes.
Yeah.
But if you are being honest about like where you're at, then I'm like, no, then they know. Then that's on them then. They're making a decision.
But are you leaving yourself open to the possibility of something happening with one of these people?
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is I'm not door closed on I go into everything with an open mind, certainly, but yeah, this is a weird situation to be in. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm like, how I've not liked an available person that could progress into something, and I don't know what to do. I don't really know how this works. I haven't made it to this level
yet. I've talked to you about this before.
You've had like feelings for guys before.
Yeah. But it just this one, we've made it through 3 dates.
Yeah.
Great dates too.
Great
dates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dates. We talk or text daily. Mm-hmm. And
he's very communicative too, like very like, and very aware of your needs, which like, he actively asked what you needed to feel like confident and comfortable in a relationship, and has done those things even if they're not his cup of tea, which is cool.
Blew my mind. I've never had that before.
How do you mean?
This was like after our after our second date. We were talking, and he did what Keegan said. He asked me what I need to feel confident and comfortable, and I was like, well, I need like daily communication.
Right.
You know, I like texting. Mm-hmm. I like talking. It doesn't need to be like prolific or anything, but I just don't do well like not talking for a few days.
Being in the wind.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's happening? I don't know.
So he was like, oh, that's interesting. He's like, that's not usually my style, but you know, and he's done it.
Yeah. Came up.
Yeah.
Stepped up.
So I just think that that's incredibly emotionally aware.
Yes, it is. No, I mean, it's true. It is. But you know, what I would say to you is like, don't overthink it. Like, you know, because I think you are absolutely overthinking the situation.
Right.
And I don't think you need to. I know it's hard. Like, it's hard because you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, that's the situations. If you let yourself give into it too much and then it doesn't work out, then it's more devastating. But also, if you are looking for something real, that's just a possibility you're going to have to open yourself up to, is like that you might get hurt.
Yeah.
Like you cannot like have a relationship without that you got to fall a little bit. You know what I mean?
Have you talked to him about his hesitancy to make it like at least somewhat exclusive, like get off the apps? Or
no, not really. I mean, after 3 dates, it just feels too soon. It feels too soon for me, and I'm definitely not going to put that on him.
Right.
You know,
but if he asked you to, you would be willing, right?
Probably. I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I might. I like him enough to give him
to see where it goes.
Full attention to see where it goes, but I don't that's so tricky because Keegan, you had such a good point of because I had been thinking that this morning is like, oh, I have to be okay with getting hurt, and that's what I've been playing so far. I've been playing the safe game because I did get really really hurt,
right,
and it took a lot to get my feet back underneath me.
But there is no such thing as a safe relationship. Like, not really. Right. I mean, like, I'm very confident and comfortable in my relationship, but at the end of the day, anybody could hurt you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyone could walk out on you. Like, anything could happen. And you just have to be like loving somebody, and not that that's what this is, but you know what I'm saying, is like loving somebody is opening yourself up to be hurt. Like, that's part of it, you know?
Yeah.
But, and also, like, is it working going on dates as a distraction? Like, is it working? Because if it's not working, then don't do it because you don't want to. And like, there are other things that you can do. If you need a distraction, I mean, fucking call one of us. We'll come get a drink with you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I mean, if it's working, then do you. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. But. No, it definitely, it made me feel really, it wasn't just a distraction. It also made me feel really confident.
Sure.
And really like, because Captain is also a freaking 10, like
he is very good looking.
Smoking hot.
Yes.
It's nice to feel sexy, to feel confident and be like, okay, like, you know, I look the way I look and I can pull it. So
catching dick left and right.
I'm like that meme, the chick with all the hot dogs.
It reminds Amy Schumer had a stand-up bit about that where she was just like,
I'm 165 and I can pull dick
like,
anytime.
I can catch dick anytime I want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Getting dick thrown at me left and right.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, I guess stay tuned for this saga to see how this progresses. But
on the next episode of Days of Our Lives,
I know I have a lot to, I think, consider in that. I want to be ready to be open and to get hurt, and I'm really getting confronted right now with whether or not I truly am. So yeah.
And that's a good thing to know about yourself too, is like where you're at, you know?
Yeah.
Levels.
I still have like definitely like concrete walls up.
Sure.
Guard your heart.
Yeah.
Guard your heart.
I get it. I do get it, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to like go all in. I mean, and again, but that's us. Every human takes in some of their baggage with them a little bit and uses that to guide their choices for the
Absolutely.
future.
I mean, you learned lessons and now you're trying to figure out how to apply those lessons in the most healthy way.
Right.
And so I think it's most people's tendency to go too far, and I will never allow this to happen to me again.
Right.
And so you go too far, and then you have to scale it back and figure out like exactly where your boundary is.
Yeah.
You know, I think that that's pretty normal, you know?
Yeah. Divorce definitely leaves scars for sure. You know, I have never had a breakup affect me the way that divorce does, because it is a little death. You're mourning the death of your future.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
and a bit of a death of your past as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
a good point.
I think that's the hardest part, because you look back and, oh, what were these years? Were these years worthless? Were these
all
years
of my 20s, you know, like
you wasted all my good years. You know what I mean? You wasted my anti-cellulite years. You
motherfucker!
dare you?
How dare you?
You wasted my high metabolism years, bitch.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Honestly.
Yeah. So yeah, again, coming to grips with I feel like I should be a fucking superhero, and knowing that I did make it through getting hurt like that, and I'm fine in quotes today, but it definitely has made me like, I get to a certain point and then I freeze up. I'm like, I can't
Your flight
do
response
this.
kicks in.
Fight or flight
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
So we will see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, any listeners that have gone through a divorce, if you can tell me how you were able to get over that hump and learn to trust again, that would be soups helpful.
Thank you.
This is not an advice podcast. In fact, this is me asking for it.
Honestly,
So
seriously.
feedback needed and appreciated.
You know what? Send us some of your divorce stories.
Oh,
You know?
Jesus. I'm sure there's my
can
worst
have-
divorce.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we can have conversations about that for sure.
Yeah.
Should we talk about that thing that got posted to our Facebook
Are you
page?
talking about the goddamn chandelier?
I wasn't, but I mean, we could talk about that. I mean, I feel like we've touched on that in the past because we talked about objectum sexuals in the past.
Speaking of being in a relationship and not getting hurt, maybe that's
You
what I
wanna
need
just-
to do. Maybe
How
I
about
need
you
to
date a
marry
lampshade,
a fucking
you know?
lamp. I love lamp. Brick, are you just looking at things in the room? I love lamp. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, we've touched on that in the past, but yeah, more recently, a woman did marry or is engaged to her chandelier, whom she has named Lumiere.
Yeah.
Or I don't even understand. Like, did they name them? I mean, clearly they do, but then they talk about them as if they're like sentient.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
anthropomorphizing on like a level that I've never seen. Like,
So I'm like, did it tell you its name was Lumiere? Or did you just make that up? I mean, you made it up either way, but
I'm like kind of afraid that I have those tendencies.
No,
only because
shut up.
only because I'm like, okay, so I still have the teddy bear that I had as a baby.
okay,
Same.
but that's sentiment.
But
Same.
I can't put him in like a closet because I'm like, it's dark and he'll feel unloved.
oh, that's
like,
just because Toy Story literally fucked us all up.
Oh my God.
Like so
We have
hard.
fucked up my Toy Story. Anyway, my teddy bear is straight up in my closet, but he can't be like under things because he needs to breathe.
yeah, exactly. Okay. So I'm like, there's
guys, all right,
anthropomorphizing,
hold on.
and then there's
I have a horror story about my childhood teddy bear.
Oh,
His
no.
name was Barry. I was not a very imaginative child.
No, Ted.
bear. Mine bear.
Bear.
So
Yeah,
Ted,
Teddy.
Bear,
Yeah.
Barry. Okay,
Got it.
So,
we
my
go get
my
Teddy right
my
now?
bear,
Will.
Barry, loved him so much. Slept with me every night.
Yeah.
He was like one of those that like. This is really gross, but I was a little kid, so I was like probably like 4. I would suck on his paw,
oh,
and he was in bed with me all the time. And I was probably like 6 or 7, and I woke up and it was like that scene in The Godfather, because I went to get Barry and like hold him close to me, and his head was off. He came from like a antique store. So he wasn't like a traditional teddy bear that's like full of cotton. He was full of like beads or something like, his head was sewn on separately, and his head came off. Can you imagine? No. This is a child. Oh my
God! You were like.
A child who probably had just seen Toy Story, right? No. With my favorite teddy bear who slept in bed with me every night, and I woke up and his head was gone. I lost my shit. We found someone, my mom found someone to sew his head back on, but she sewed it on backwards. And it's to this day, it's sewed on backwards. Yeah, it's like a child's horror story.
Oh my
like,
God.
Truly, I was like,
I remember my mom being like, I'm going to put Teddy in the wash. And I'm like, no,
I like him dirty like this.
Yeah.
He can't breathe.
He's fine the way he is.
So then where does that line, how do people cross that line? Because obviously, like, we've all
and I think
anthropomorphized those teddy bears, but it's like,
know that's like, you're not going to marry your teddy bear.
Yeah, and I think where the line is like we're rational. Like, you know, seriously.
Yeah.
Because like, yes, you want him on your bed, you don't want him in the closet, or you want to make sure he can breathe and he's not under things. But you all know, like, logically, rationally, that like it would be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that.
And Bear doesn't want to marry me or have like a real personality or
Bear doesn't want anything.
No.
He's a bear.
He's not even
He's
a real bear.
He's a stuffed bear. Yes.
I know, Velveteen Rabbit really got to me, man.
I mean, that too. See, all of these stories fucked us up hard.
Velveteen Rabbit fucked me.
But even in the Toy Story universe, the toys just want to be toys. Like, they don't want to marry you.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like,
it's true.
It is such a fascinating thing. It's so weird. And you know, I've said it before, I'm not here to kink shame. You're not hurting anybody.
No.
Except for maybe yourself.
And she looked so happy, though.
She looked so happy.
So happy with the lamp.
You know what? She ain't hurting anybody.
That's exactly right. You're not hurting anyone except for maybe yourself. I worry.
That's it.
About that because I'm just like,
what are the
long-term implications of that? Like a lamp can't take care of you. It can't really love you back. So
out of that,
I guess that's
what
the
are you
truth.
looking for out of that?
I read an article which I need to find so that we can talk about it more in depth on this podcast about how sex bots in the future, they're going to be AI, so they'll be able to learn.
We talked about this.
We talked about sex bots, but like, yes, they'll be
how to clean them
and how to clean them, and that, you know, potentially the potential for AI, but also that they could crush you.
Oh my God!
And I'm like, that sounds like a horror movie. Can we have a really bad B horror movie about sex dolls that kill?
I'm shocked it doesn't exist.
You know, it probably does somewhere. Like some bad.
Like, you search Pornhub, I guarantee you can find it.
We can find
that's like someone's kink is like, I want to almost be crushed to death by my sex doll. Or my sex bot. Yes, sex bot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, but I wanted to talk about the the guy who private messaged his friend, and he was like, "Hey, can we talk about?" Let's just give her a name. Can we talk about Shayla?
I don't think that they were friends.
Or, well, they were, I think they were, because they were like, or maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't know.
Yeah, because in the comments were the additional DMs.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe they're just people who ran in the same kind of circle.
Right.
So they knew each other in some respect.
Yeah.
But maybe they weren't
wild.
like friends.
Freaking crazy.
So he DM'd this guy and was like, "Hey, can we talk about Shayla or whoever?" And the guy was like, "I guess so. What about her?" And he says, "I've been talking with her a lot and we've grown pretty close. I know you're her boyfriend and all, but I was going to politely ask if you could break up with her." Politely. I just really feel a connection to her and she would be happy with me.
Oh my
You know, if you could just step out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, just step down, bro.
This is the first step in a movie, I think, of him killing him.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yes. And then it gets worse. Like the rest of the conversation.
Yeah.
All right. So then the guy responds and he says, "That's funny because she told me you were creepy and constantly text her even when she doesn't reply. You need to stop talking to my girlfriend and get the fuck out of my DMs."
Oh my God.
And he said, "LOL, you know she's just using that as an excuse because she'd rather tell you that than the truth, which is that she met a nice, charming alpha male." There it is.
Oh, okay. And that's where I was like, because at first I was on the fence. I was like, where's the truth in this? And then I was like, yep,
Yep.
Right.
Lion doesn't need to call itself a lion.
Right. You're right.
You're
right.
a fucking lion. So anyone that says like,
any
alpha,
man who calls himself okay, talk about deal breakers. For me, that would be one. If you call yourself an alpha male, I'm getting up and leaving the table.
Yeah,
we're done here. And then he says, "You betas are all the same." So ding ding. And then he says, "What the fuck? Did you make her block me?" As if she's not capable of doing that for herself. And then he says, "To be honest, I should thank you. I didn't even want that ugly whore anyway. Have fun with her
alpha.
though, beta."
What a true alpha.
I know.
Gross.
didn't even want her anyway.
You're so fucking sensitive.
Yeah, that's what's so funny about all the interactions that I've noticed with people that call themselves alpha males like that. The second they say no, they automatically flip it around and have a little temper tantrum. Like,
I'm too good for you anyway.
You're a fat, ugly whore. And you're like, okay.
Well then.
You must have a type.
Seriously.
Because you came
to
after her
me.
hard.
Yeah.
You came
Yes.
for her hard.
So hard.
Not even like to the girl, obviously was already doing that, but like you went to her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Which
you wanted
is-
it so hard.
And it's so gross to me because it's like, listen, if you're going to ask one person in that relationship to break up, maybe ask the girl. Why would you go to the guy as if she's her, like his property,
Right?
And ask for his permission to date her?
Oh,
Like if
sure.
she can make a decision.
What did he think was going to happen? What did he?
Oh
think
yeah, of course, bro.
Oh,
No problem.
You know what? Why not?
Yeah.
That sounds
She
good.
would be happy with you,
She would
actually.
be happy.
These
Yeah.
people, like, I used to play this game
Out of your mind.
as a kid, and I think I've talked about it on the podcast before. It was a game I called Consequences. Just literally, like, think about my action and then try to go with the consequences as far as I could go. Like, what is going to happen if I throw this Diet Coke bottle at the mirror in front of us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And think through. And I'm like, some of you motherfuckers didn't play that game, and it shows.
It
shows.
It shows.
Because now when I act on things, I think through what the effects
like,
of my
the mirror
actions
could
might
break.
be.
It could be funny at first, but then the mirror could break.
But then
and then
I gotta
clean
clean
up.
that shit
Yeah.
up. I gotta
Yeah.
buy Cassie a new closet door.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
got.
awkward.
Yeah.
You guys, so speaking of things that we've seen on the internet this week that are blowing our minds.
Yes.
Can we talk about the cats?
That
Okay, guys.
is the best comment that I got from that whole thing was like, what a fucking frightening look at the uncanny valley, because
Oh my
it
God, it's
truly is. It's so terrifying.
Here's the thing, you know. And
I loved
I
the
know
show.
that this is not.
I can't even.
Right.
I love the
I
show.
was-
I've seen it. It's
I was truly
incredible.
obsessed when I was a kid. I have the VHS.
Oh yeah.
Of the Broadway, you know,
Nothing
show.
to watch it on, but you have the
I
VHS.
do, but I have it. I own it. You know, someday whenever VHS players come back around like record players,
exactly.
I'll be ready. I watched it so much. I even tried. God, I was a weird kid. I even tried to stage a neighborhood kids version of Cats. Yes. I tried to put on a play.
Who were you going to be?
That was Cats. I really liked the brother and sister duo.
Yeah.
What was her name?
The twinsies, the Siamese.
Rumpelteazer and the other one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I loved her. She was great. Yes. And I went and saw it live when they came to Vegas. I fucking loved Cats. And when I saw who was going to be in this, with the exception of Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
Same.
with everyone else, I'm like, oh my God, so much fucking talent. They've got like
It's going to be wildly good.
huge, like a ballet dancer. This is going to be amazing. And then the trailer. And
what the fuck did they do?
Yikes.
Wow.
It's yikes.
Oh, it's bad.
And but in my mind, I never saw this as something that could be made into
No,
a movie.
and I was very surprised they were
it is
going
meant for stage.
I was
Yeah.
so surprised
It's
they
meant
were
for
going
stage.
to make it into a movie because of this. I was like, how are they going to do this?
My favorite comment though is somebody was talking about it and they were like, what's the one about the trains? Sentient trains. Oh shit.
Thomas the Tank.
No, Starlight Express.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever.
are you talking about Polar
Starlight
Express?
Express. No, I'm definitely not talking about Starlight Express. Which
Oh,
is
okay.
I
What
wanna
the
show
fuck
you-
is that? No, go
Yeah.
away. Is that a
It's another
breakdancing
Andrew-
train?
It is another Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Oh, honey.
no.
No. No.
This person said, if you think Cats looks mental, wait till you see Starlight Express, which is much the same concept. Instead of cats, they're sentient trains.
No.
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 From Tracy King at tking dot on Twitter. Fucking hilarious.
Oh
Oh
my
my God.
God.
I cannot do it. The Cats trailer looks
Oof.
bananas.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
But meow.
But I mean, is it going to be like one of those things where when the first trailer for Aladdin came out and like
And
Still not
they went
interested.
went back and fixed.
they went
the
back and
genie.
fixed it because the genie looked wild, like he looked
Yeah.
bad, and so
Yeah.
they went and they made changes and made him look better, like more normal. Are they gonna
No.
do that?
No, because here's the thing. You can't fix the problem here. Because it's not just that they look wildly weird. It's
So
that they
weird.
fucking slink around like cats, but they're not, which is
No,
okay
it's-
on stage.
It's okay on stage
But
because
it
you're
is not-
suspending your disbelief.
Yeah,
and I
you're
understand.
immersing yourself into a thing.
Why
Yeah.
didn't they just
We're-
do like a live version, like NB? You know, they
Oh,
do
yeah,
those
yeah.
like live ones.
Yeah.
Would have made more
would
sense.
make sense to me
That
because
would make
I'm
more
like,
sense.
all right, I can watch you in cat's makeup
Yep.
doing awesome fucking flips
Right.
and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
like
see
that's
that.
great.
Yeah.
But
they want you to suspend your disbelief like they're real cats, which is
I'm like,
unacceptable.
that cat has a
Unacceptable.
Judi Dench face, and I don't like it.
I can't.
there's fucking Taylor Swift with a giant bedazzled thing of catnip. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
I'm like, I
is
don't-
happening?
what
I'm
is
like,
going
she's on
on?
Moulin Rouge or something. She's like, "Here, darlings," like it's like the most.
No,
oh,
it's so extra.
It's so extra. And I'm like, look, I will listen to Jennifer Hudson sing Memory
Oh,
all
Amen.
day.
Yeah.
All day. I'll put it on repeat in my car and just listen to her.
But I can't see her doing it because her face when she's doing it, I'm like, because her voice doing it is everything right.
But
her face doing it is everything
not
wrong.
good. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no.
it's so much yikes. Did you guys see the Top Gun trailer?
No.
What? They're remaking Top Gun?
Yeah. Or no, they're not remaking it. It's a sequel.
What?
Yes.
So is Tom Cruise going to be in it?
Yes. And Val Kilmer.
no.
Yes.
Val Kilmer looks so bad.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
all right. I'll
Dude,
watch that
we
trailer.
we did that Fuck, Marry, Kill, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Top
did.
Gun?
We did.
Oh,
Top
we
Gun.
did.
Cause
Yeah.
we married Goose.
Doy.
Doy.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Still.
Come on.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
I think in honor of us going dancing last night and of us talking about Taylor Swift, we should FMK Taylor Swift, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
Pop stars?
Pop stars.
All
I
right.
don't want to pick those pop stars. I
Okay.
want Miley Cyrus in mine.
Okay. You can pick Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, and we can keep Britney. Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Okay.
She's the princess of pop. Okay. But first of all, you are listening to My Worst Date.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Keegan.
Cassie.
Christina.
And before we hop into the FMK, we have a new patron.
yeah.
So we want to give a shout out and big thank you to Matthew Ray. Thank you so much. I always get excited when guys join our
I know.
Patreon.
Welcome to the club.
I
Yeah.
love it that guys listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. And we will have your pin and sticker sent to you soon.
yes.
I think we should explain about you guys going out last night because I think I'm the only one in the room that understands that you guys went out last night and what that means. So you guys went to Booty.
Yes.
And it was specifically what Booty LA is a mashup And they do usually like pit like 80s versus 90s music or 90s hip hop versus 2000s hip hop.
Yeah, I think they've
mashup-
done like a Lady Gaga versus Madonna night. Like they sometimes do that.
And the one you went to last night was
Taylor and Britney.
Yeah.
So Taylor, Swift and Britney Spears mashup night.
Yeah.
And it was a good time.
Really good.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had a rough morning, y'all. A rough morning. You can't drink the same way when you're on keto that you can when you are not. I learned that.
Yeah.
I was like, you need carbs. Your body needs carbs to absorb booze.
Oh my God.
But it was a blast.
Would you like
I'm
a spoon
down.
of peanut butter? That helps.
Maybe. I actually have almonds in my bag, so I might
Nuts help.
get down on some of those a little bit later.
Nuts help.
Nuts.
Sorry.
So okay, yeah, I'm willing to do that.
Okay. Yeah, Britney, Miley, Taylor. I'm gonna kill Taylor Swift.
Same.
I think she's. I'll say it, and you can at me all you want. I think she's fake, and I don't like her.
No, yeah, I mean
she's fake.
her.
I do think she's overrated though.
She's overrated. Her followers are gonna come at you.
Yeah,
they are vicious.
I know, but
Swifties.
I'm just like
everything she does is calculated. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas, it's not that Miley and Britney don't have the same kind of marketing teams behind them.
Sure.
That kind of thing. But right.
I mean, the thing about Taylor Swift is that, like, I think she is a good business person.
Hell yeah.
I think she's a very good business person, but I think part of that is being cunning in a way that feels like.
Yeah, she's been caught in a little too many lies. That whole Kanye
and she really
controversy
relies
and everything.
on her victimhood in a way that makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that. Like, she just expects the benefit of the doubt all the time, and she plays the victim often.
Right.
But I mean, she writes a catchy song, so
yeah. I think I'm gonna fuck Miley because I think that's gonna be a good time.
Yes,
for reals.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna marry that that beautiful beast, Britney.
That beautiful poor woman. You need to save
I just
her.
want to be her friend for real in real life, though.
I bet
I'm
she
worried
is
about
so
her.
fun. Yeah.
Friends.
Aren't you guys worried
she needs
about
real
Britney?
friends?
She needs real friends.
There was
Yeah.
that whole like free
Right.
Britney thing that went on because
Yes.
she's under
Yes.
some like her. They talked about it on the Daily
Yep.
Zeitgeist because there's a whole podcast about it.
Yeah.
And she's under just this weird
Conservativeship.
that
Yeah.
like is reserved for people who are brain dead. Like
Right.
it's reserved for people who are in a
Yeah.
not for a 30-some-odd-year-old woman
with children.
with children. It's the weirdest thing.
It is weird.
I
do feel for her.
Me too.
She's clearly gone through some shit.
Well, yeah, and I mean, she's been famous since she was like what 7, 6.
Yeah,
you know,
she was on the Mickey Mouse Club.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if she's ever had like real love in her life
Or
you know?
real life.
Yeah.
You know?
So
Yeah.
I want
She was
to. I want to
sexualized
swoop
from the time
in.
she was like fucking 14.
I
You know,
wanna
like
swoop in and save her. I'm gonna
Yeah.
marry her for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah. I am inclined to do the same. We talked about this before. I don't really like Miley Cyrus either. Although I did not tell you guys that Billy Ray Cyrus was on my plane to Albuquerque.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, I think that's Billy Ray Cyrus. And then whenever because we had to wait an hour we're in the airport together for like an hour waiting to board our plane. And then when I got there, I checked his Instagram and he was in New Mexico. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that was him.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever wish that there was an app where you can just like hold your phone up and it was like Shazam for faces?
Yeah.
Because I'm always like that. I'm like, is that Deborah Messing? And then it's like,
like,
no,
oh,
it's
no.
just a random person.
No, it's just a girl with curly hair.
You know what? They could probably make that with
They
all of
probably
the
could.
like
the face, the
Recognition.
recognition
Oh, God.
that's
Yeah.
being saved
I'm
every
like,
time you use
somebody
your fucking
invent that and you can at me my check for $1 million when you get famous, because I would
Thanks.
download that app immediately.
Thank
I'd pay
you.
99 cents to have that
Oh,
app.
yeah.
phone.
Totally.
Sure.
Yeah.
There we go.
Kind of scary,
Maybe. Would it also recognize people who weren't famous? Like, oh my God, that guy's so cute. Would it send me to his Facebook page?
Oh, see, that's Black Mirror-ish. I think that's.
I know.
Well, I think all of it.
We have a Black Mirror episode right here.
All of it's Black
Like,
Mirror-ish.
like, we're gonna send this trademark not to
TM.
be used without express permission.
I mean, all of it's Black Mirror-ish because even for that to work, it would have to have an index of faces, which we all know that they do. Like that's the thing with the Face app that they were talking about. It's like it saves your information. But anyway, anyway,
oh my God,
Miley Cyrus. Meh, I don't love her, but I feel like Taylor Swift would be very boring in bed, and Miley would at least be fun. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. And then, I'm going to marry Britney. I'm going to marry into royalty, pop royalty.
Exactly. It's Britney, bitch.
It's Britney, bitch. Yeah, I'll work out with her. She'll get me in tip-top fucking shape.
Her workouts are intense.
Yeah, she'll get me in really, really good shape. And then her and I can, move to the Caribbean and get far, far away from her scary ass family.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to do that.
Oof. I want to agree with all of you on this. However, I'm going to switch it up. I've actually been back and forth on this the whole time because I thought I was just going to follow along, but you know what I'm going to do.
Oh, I do.
You know I'm going to marry Miley.
I do.
Yes.
I love Miley.
Yes.
And I'm going to fuck Britney because that bitch be cray. And
Yes.
that's going to be fun.
Yes.
And again, she works out fucking hard. So like she can throw you around a little bit,
fine. And Taylor, I'm sorry. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear the podcast of like the real tea behind what went on for 2007 Britney. I want the real tea.
Well, my friend did her hair during that time. So I have a little tea to spill that I will not publicly spill because that's
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll talk off
take,
mic.
Take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Yes.
All right.
And we're back. So, Cass,
Yep,
you got
I'm
the
up
first
first.
story this week?
I'm up first. I got the story from Reddit. And it says, I had my first date from hell and I have to vent. Tonight was supposed to be my third date with a guy that I was really, really excited about. We had finally reached the quote house date level.
Yes.
And I was so giddy to just have a night to sit and talk and cuddle and be cute.
Oh, I love everyone knows
Everybody knows
like what that is.
She's third date, house cuddle night.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So long story short, he shows up hammered and likely on something else. He doesn't have his wallet. His phone won't stop going off. And I realize it's his, in parentheses, also hammered, soon to be ex-wife that's blowing up his phone. He is becoming increasingly incoherent and can't answer the simplest questions. After rebuffing a few of his efforts to kiss me, like, bro, seriously?
Not the time. Gross.
No, not now.
Oh, I just got chills because this person's in your house.
And they're sloppy. They're trying to kiss you. Oh, no.
I tell him he can't stay at my house. I couldn't bring myself to let him drive home in his current state, except he didn't have his wallet and he lived an hour away. So I ended up driving him in his truck to the cheapest hotel and bought him a room. But that wasn't before he let my roommate's dog escape, causing me to run down the street, screaming at the dog and also screaming at him to shut the door, and then screaming at him to get out of the driver's seat of his car because he was not driving anywhere.
Oh my God.
I finished my evening with an Uber ride back home. I feel like such a loser. I was so excited about this guy. Girl.
Oh my God, my heart breaks.
I know.
How
I feel
much
you.
of a bill did this motherfucker rack up? An
Yep.
hour
You
Uber
did not
ride?
ask for that. And she did follow up with it too. She said, she goes, I'll fill you in on more details if you want. I was like, I'll take any details you can give me. She said, well, I guess the only part I left out was at the hotel. I gave him his hotel key and tell him not to contact me again, as if he'd remember anything I had said to him at this point.
Right.
And stepped outside to call an Uber. About 5 minutes later, I see him walk out of the hotel toward his truck. I yelled at him and said, if I see him try to drive, I was calling the police. A family had just walked out and was staring at us.
Oh, no.
His reasoning was that he couldn't find his hotel room. I told
Jesus,
Oh
what
my
was he
God.
on?
I told him it was on his key. He said, I never gave him the key. It was in his pocket.
What
Oh my
was he
God.
on? Like,
Ooh,
that is some
wow.
next level shit.
I escorted him back to the elevator and made sure he got on it. Before I left, he asked me how badly he screwed things up.
Oh,
wow.
It's
Wow.
irreparably
Yeah.
screwed up.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, no, the end, sir.
I mean, and honestly, I don't know. I would not want to put a hotel in my name for that guy.
Right.
Because
Oh, I
it's
didn't think
just
about
like
that.
what if he didn't leave? What if he stayed for more nights? They're going to charge your credit card. What if he wrecked the room? What if he any number of
Oh my
fucking
gosh,
things,
but
you know?
like, yeah, what were her options
Yeah, you don't
at
have
this
any
point?
options.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, I
God.
would probably call him an Uber from his phone. And
Yeah, that's a good point. But
You know
then
what I
he's gotta
mean?
come back for the truck to your house. Ugh.
yeah, but at least then, like, maybe he can come back during the day,
sober.
you know? And like, still, of course, like, goodbye. But, like, I'd even be like, don't even knock on my door. Just come get your fucking truck. Don't even
Keys
try
are in
and
it.
talk to me. Yeah.
Here's the thing. The other clue is the whole like soon to be ex-wife. So I'm going to
Yeah.
assume he's going through like a divorce or whatever. And one of the things that I caught this week was Brene Brown on Russell Brand's podcast, which I definitely recommend everybody listen to. It was fucking fantastic. And I'm obsessed with her. But she was talking a lot about compassion, but it also needs to be coupled with boundaries.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
So that's where I struggle big time, where I do feel compassion for people that are in a tough spot, but that I do believe that everyone is doing the best that they can, but it doesn't mean that I have to sacrifice my personal boundaries of my safety, my standards, all of that stuff. I can say like, hey, I have compassion for you, but these are my boundaries.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I fucking lived for that podcast episode. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. But it's also one of those things where it's like, it's good to be compassionate. Never lose that. Never lose your empathy. But also realize that, like, it's not an excuse to treat people like shit or put them in a shitty position.
Right.
Like, whatever you're going through, I'm sorry about that. But, like, it's not an excuse to put somebody in a position like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
That's why
handle
it's-
your shit.
That's why what she's saying is so important, is because you can't control other people's behavior. You can only treat your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can only control yourself.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's why it's so
I'm
important.
speaking to
Yeah.
people
Oh,
who
of
might
course.
be using it as an excuse, because
yeah,
I see that shit all the time where they're
Yeah.
like, I'm having a really hard time, okay? and I'm like,
everybody's
I
having
know.
a really hard time.
Yeah.
Girl,
Life
We
is
all are.
hard.
it's life.
Okay?
We are all in this.
Yes. Okay, so this is an email we got from a regular listener who does not want to be identified.
Okay.
Ooh, that means it's
I'm just a
spicy.
guess.
Spicy. He says, on New Year's and the 4th of July, Vegas can be very strange. I know. I spent time. I grew up in Vegas. So I know what you mean. Fireworks and gunplay in the streets and backyards. It's kind of wild. It's Wild West.
Yeah.
This year, my car was hit by fireworks from a neighbor. Luckily, I have a video system and they are paying for it. Something you just have to experience for yourself.
Oh man.
I
I'm
had
so pissed.
yeah, if your car got hit by a firework.
Yeah.
Or a gunshot. I had been dating a woman, and on New Year's, we went to her house for it. She had a bunch of kids over, around 15 tweens, and then her younger son.
I just got
Too
I just
many.
got chills.
Too many. Her and I had been drinking when she said, hey, would you please go grab my purse and a couple glasses of wine? This was right before New Year's. I was okay with this and did it, came back out to the pool, and she pulls out of her purse a Glock along with a couple of magazines. She proceeds to start discharging it into the air, then tells me the combination to her gun safe and wants me to get her ARs out so that we can shoot them into the air.
No. No.
After you've been drinking with 15 children in your house.
No.
Fucking
No.
No. He says, I like firearms and have a concealed carry permit, but when drinking, they are off limits.
Right.
Obviously.
Yes.
This was our last date and the only person I have truly ghosted.
Oh my god.
You're
You're like
imagine?
block.
You're like, that escalated quickly. Jesus Christ.
Quickly.
You're like, honey, sweetheart, can you get my purse
I know.
and a couple glasses of wine?
Pew, 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 pew. fucking like Yosemite Sam now. Jesus Christ.
Question. What happens to these bullets? I mean,
They
they
come
don't just go
back
down.
No. 15 kids in your yard.
And
They
you
don't
want to
just
go
go
get
up and disappear.
You want to go get an AR. You want to go get an automatic
So you're like,
rifle.
wow.
Which, like, what? Why? Why do you need an automatic weapon?
Why do you need to shoot off a gun?
Yeah. What are we? Is this a
Why?
conversation?
But I also
dull,
like
or?
that the Glock wasn't enough. Like, she was like,
You know
that's
what?
not, you know what? This just isn't doing it for me. Because you,
It's a little bit of an amuse-bouche. Now on to the entree.
they make fireworks. I mean, not that you should be shooting those off in your neighborhood either, but I mean, if you have to do something, fireworks are better than a gun.
Makes sense. Because at least you see something.
Yeah.
Like shooting
You're
at
just,
a
you're just making
noise.
noise. You're just making noise.
And if you've ever shot a gun,
loud.
it's painfully loud. Like,
Right.
why would you even like?
safe at all. You know she wasn't wearing safety equipment.
Oh hell no!
She's
No.
just shooting off a fucking
they were
gun.
sitting by the pool, so
Oh
yeah, it's just like just chilling in her fucking two-piece
With a glass of wine.
with a glass of
I think
wine,
it's so funny.
shooting a Glock.
Oh.
I mean,
my
granted,
God.
if I had like 15 like tweens running around,
You'd
Well,
want to
also,
pull a gun
I
out,
definitely would. So I mean,
Okay.
hashtag mood, but
but also don't
seriously,
do that. But also practice gun safety.
wow.
Yikes.
Just, I mean, and this is the shit that makes people like worried about like people who
Yeah.
own guns because
Yeah.
it's like that is
Yeah.
such a you don't just have it for safety, right? Like you're just playing with it at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
stop
fun
it.
And what is the lesson for these young tweens?
Yeah.
Guns are
hanging
fun.
out? Guns
Yeah.
are fun.
And now they know that your mom keeps a gun in her purse. Like, won't that be fun to
Jesus.
play with later?
Oh,
You know?
no.
Like,
Oh,
seriously.
I
I don't like that at all.
This is not. This is a problem. This is gun safety is important.
Yes,
and I'm
it
not
is.
sitting here. I definitely am not of the mind of like take everybody's guns away, but I am of the mind of like be safe, be smart,
Be smarter than this. This is
be
bullshit.
Smart. God,
Like,
this is wild.
I just can't get the image out of my head.
I know.
just
literally.
suburban mom.
Yes.
She's probably got like a cardigan on.
She,
you know?
she definitely is like not in the summertime.
Oh, the summertime. No,
Yeah,
it's
in
New
Vegas.
Year's. It's
Oh,
not summer.
New Year. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But does she have the I want to speak to the manager haircut?
I was picturing like a blonde, like bun, like maybe like a blonde, messy bun.
She has a
She's got
cigarette, too.
manicured fingers for sure.
Oh, Virginia Slims all day.
Yes, she does.
All
and the
day.
Square manicure.
Oh,
yeah.
Square.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Squared off.
Okay. Mine is also from Reddit. He says, I had a first date with a woman I had been speaking to for a while. She mentioned over WhatsApp that she was nervous and was going to go for a drink before meeting me. She turned up almost certainly not having had a drink, but numerous ones.
She was me last night.
It was bad. I've been that. I think, honestly, if I go back to
You're
Alan
like, fun
Tudyk,
Christina came.
I think because I went and had drinks at band practice before meeting him,
Oh.
and so I
Like
think
one
I think
too
I
many?
was fun Christina.
You came on hot.
I came in hot,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Ooh, cute."
Anthony won't stop making fun of me because last night when I got home, I went to turn on Friends, like as a
Yeah.
end of the night something to
What
watch.
you watch.
And Anthony was like laying in bed, and I like fell. I like fell backwards, and then I did the thing that they do in Friends, like where I got up and I said, "Are you okay?" Like I fell over, and then I was like, "Are you all right?" He was like, "What?" Yes.
Oh my god, your Instagram stories were cracking me up
Oh my
though because
God,
it's
oh
like
no.
there's no words. We're all just like yelling.
We're just screaming.
We're screaming.
Oh my God, I didn't see him.
They're still up. I'm gonna
Oh.
take them down because it's
It's crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So he says she was slurring and couldn't collect her thoughts coherently and kept repeating herself. Everything was intense.
Yay.
From over the top compliments to being told that I remind her of her dead cousin.
Oh, I was about to be like, oh, that's fun. She sounds like a nice drunk. And then I'm like, oh, no.
Oh no. This is all over the place.
Oh my
We're
God,
just
this
like,
is
oh my
Alan
God.
Tudyk.
I know. He's writing it about me. I kept trying to steer it back to holidays and other first date conversation, but to no avail. She ordered a white wine, I ordered sparkling water.
Good call. Good call.
At one point, her elbow slipped off the table as she went to rest her head, and she kind of slipped, and it ripped open all the buttons on her dress.
Oh, I love this. This is amazing. Oh, no.
Then the food came. She only had 2 pieces of pizza, but typical drunk table manners, talking as she shoveled food into her mouth, frequent bits falling out everywhere.
Okay. Listen,
This is drunk Christina.
we've got a woman with no buttons on her dress. There's like pizza sauce falling all over her chest.
The elbow slip is what got me.
I think I've done that.
I've done that.
I've definitely done that.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Then the bill came. She went to pay her half, and on the tip screen entered £10, which was the amount her pizza cost. Oh. She clearly intended this to be what she paid. The waitress said, "Are you sure? That's 100% tip." She didn't want to be challenged. This is definitely me.
Girl.
Do not
You're
challenge
like,
me.
first of all, don't ever tell me my business ever again.
First of all,
I'm a really good tipper, and I believe in tipping good.
and I believe in you, okay? Oh my God.
That's
so
hilarious.
She didn't want to be challenged, so she loudly said, "Yes, £10 tip." And then I went to pay, and as the waitress handed me the machine, she started shouting at her, demanding that the tip be used to pay mine.
Wait,
then
what?
started
That's
shouting
not
at
how
me,
this works.
saying, "I trusted you. Why did you pay?"
What?
I
Trusted you.
I trusted you.
Trusted you.
Do you ever get? Well,
Oh,
I mean, it's
man.
the same. You get kind of like this weird
poor girl.
mantra and weird rationality when you drink.
Yep.
So I can totally say,
Yep.
"Oh my God."
Oh man.
So she started to partially recover, and I said, "Look, this isn't going to work." We then exchanged, "Yes, it will," and "No, it just won't."
and she's arguing with you.
It's gonna work.
It's going to
No,
work.
listen.
Listen.
It's gonna work. It's yes.
You're so
it
cute.
is.
You're so cute.
Yes, it is.
I then said, "I have to leave now," and just left. 10 minutes later, I get the following text.
Yes, it will.
"You didn't have to be such a bitch. I treated you kindly. I did everything for you.
Oh.
Sleep well, bitch."
I'm gonna start texting that to you guys when I
bitch.
at the end of the
well,
night. I'm
bitch.
just gonna start texting that to my friends.
Sleep well, bitch.
Sleep well, bitch.
Then 10 minutes after that, "Give me a second chance. Come and meet me for a drink."
No, why are you still drinking? Why are you still drinking?
Ma'am.
Hey,
Ma'am.
you gotta maintain. You gotta maintain.
Ma'am.
Once you get to that spot where you're telling people "sleep well, bitch," you're going all the way.
I mean,
You're
I think you should sleep
balls
well,
in.
bitch. Go home. Go to bed.
Oh my
bed.
God. He just says she was properly drunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she
Yeah.
was. Oh, and that's when I hear those kinds of stories, I just know like that's a shame receipt the next day. Like that's something
Oh,
you
yeah.
wait up and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
What did
Like,
I do?
what did I say?
You look at your text and you go, did
You
I
hate
tell him to
yourself so
sleep
hard.
well, bitch? Did I call him a bitch twice in one text message?
Yup.
Plus, does anyone else not love like calling guys bitches?
Yeah.
Like that. There's
Be a
something.
little bitch.
You're being a bitch.
That is a drunk thing to call.
It is.
You're just being a bitch
You're-
right now.
You're being a total bitch. Yeah.
Weddings are a celebration of finding the perfect fit. And with Indochino, you can design a custom suit made to your measurements. Go to INDOCHINO.com and use code PODCAST for 10% off any order of $3.99 or more.
Oh, crazy love time.
Yes.
Cassie's
You know
got her
me.
murder notes.
You know me and my murder notes. First of all, my
right.
hand hurts still from
Oh,
writing notes.
I hear
jeez.
you.
Oh, right.
So,
I hear you.
are you guys ready to hear this story?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
believe I may or may not have found one that you don't know.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, may or may not have.
Yeah, those are the
Sorry.
only two options.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I do know. I do know both. All right. So I got a lot of this information from the show Till Death Do Us Part.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So if you watch that, maybe you've seen this one.
Okay.
I also read multiple articles on it, but really I got the best information from that show because they really did like a lot of interviews with people. And so you really got to see, you know, character and like who people were and, you know, dive into who these people were. These people were, by the way,
Okay.
Marty Durham and Glenna Johnson.
Oh.
So
I don't
do
think
you know
I
the
know.
story?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I do.
We're
I
gonna
don't
do
know.
It's on a list.
It's on a
but
list?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, these two met when they're in their young teens in the early 80s in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Glenna is from the Ojibwe tribe. Ojibwe? Ojibwe?
All
Yep.
right.
I don't know how to
Ojibwa.
say it. That,
Ojibwa? Wow. I thought I knew it. I think it's Ojibwe. I think it's Ojibwe. Yep. We're sticking with that.
Okay.
Yeah, go with that.
Great.
All right.
You're
Sounds
great.
good. Sorry.
I just loved hearing you say it so many times.
I know, right? I kind of like saying it so many times. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, I'm just fucking with you. I know how to say it. I just like saying it. So Marty and Glenna met in the early 80s when they were in their teens. They met in Michigan. They had a very quick relationship. They had met had some friends in common kind of thing. Marty's best friend said he was there when they met, and they like that night went to a movie together, and they instantly
And in their early teens,
Yeah.
so they weren't fucking around. They're like
No.
14. They're like, let's go do this.
they're like,
Go see a movie with me.
I love you, done and done. Except that as quickly as it happened, it also fizzled out. So they had, kind of a fast and furious relationship and kind of broke it off. And in the meantime, moving forward in their lives, Glenna at 17 marries a guy named Bob Norman. He's a family friend who is 5 years her senior. So 17, she gets married.
Wow.
Yeah. Yikes.
So she's 17.
He's 22.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, math.
Right. Math is hard.
Got it.
It's hard.
Toots.
Marty meets a woman named Christina, and who becomes his first wife. They marry quickly as well, and she is just 17 when she has their first son, and at 19 they have 2 more children.
What is happening? Why are you guys getting married at 17?
Hey, remember the 80s?
right?
Stop
So
it. Stop
true.
it right now.
I mean, says the person who had a son at 18. So, I mean, I have no words to say or room to talk. I did not get married, though.
But married
No.
with a child at 17
Yeah,
is
it's early.
bananas.
You know, I get it. No, totally.
And then 3 kids at 19?
Yikes.
Get out.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Only 10 days. So Marty and Christina, again, they are married. They are living outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Christina is interviewed on this show as well. And she has said, Marty has had real troubles, like holding down a job. He is like just wants to live the life of
Well, he got married
casual
at
hunter.
like
so
17.
yeah,
Like
yeah, that's not a
Dude,
life.
it's not a life. We're not cavemen anymore. Like, it's not hunter
he's like, but I
gatherers.
brought you a deer. Like, what more do you want?
What,
I don't
what do you
understand.
want from me?
He loves hunting. That is his favorite pastime. That's really how he wants to hold it down. But she's like, nah, you need to get a job.
Bruh.
Yeah, brah. So she's thrilled to death. He gets a job at like a local factory, and only 10 days after starting his new job, he gets into a major car accident on his way home from work. He is in an intersection and a large truck runs the intersection, runs the light, and traps him in his car. He is declared dead for 5 minutes and has multiple injuries. They do take him to the hospital. He sustains multiple major injuries, is in coma for weeks.
And you know that he's like, you see, this wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had a job. So
You just would have let me.
if you would have just let me hang out in the woods,
Yeah.
Hi.
Where there are
I
no
wouldn't have gotten
cars.
hit by a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, only 10 days into this new job, lady.
So you shouldn't be laughing. He was in a coma. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he wakes up, his friends and his ex both say he's never the same. He is
Head injury, multiple injuries.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
and
also,
one of
he
those
died.
Yeah. Well, he died. He came back. He was in a coma.
Who knows what he saw?
Dun, dun,
Who knows what went into him?
Yeah.
When he wakes, though, he says he has no recollection of his life. He can't remember anything.
Awful.
He doesn't know who anyone is. he kind of, I think, must remember his friend because he asks his friend if Christina is actually his wife. Like, he doesn't believe that Christina is actually his wife.
His poor kids.
I know. Is that the saddest thing?
That's
Like,
so sad.
He doesn't recognize anybody. I mean, can you imagine waking up and you're like, wait, what?
It's sad for everyone because it would be terrible if it happened to you.
Yeah.
I mean, because like, how do you get through life?
Yeah.
But then also, like, yeah, you've built this family with somebody who doesn't recognize you or
Yeah.
possibly your children.
Imagine waking up and you're like, ew, I'm married to you. I don't even think you're cute or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, and
because
then,
also, who knows
and
what
then-
parts of his brain were affected?
You just are like,
you know, like,
fuck.
yeah,
Like,
you're
what? I
you're
got
not my
kids, I don't
type
even like
anymore.
kids. Yeah, right. We're like, that's just fucking wild. Like, I can't imagine. But she also says, like, he completely loses all filter as well. Like, he says what he wants. Like, he has completely lost that filter to, like, for good normal human behavior.
He's like,
that-
sleep well, bitch.
Exactly.
Every night
You're like,
before bed.
Jesus.
Damn.
That's really harsh.
Yeah, so it becomes like obviously a problem and very hard to like live with him. He has no sense of humor anymore. He has no filter. So
Well, it's not who you married.
Right.
It's really not who you married.
And then
it's not what you
on
said yes
top
to.
of that, you're like, you
And you have
do
kids.
feel the guilt too, where you're just like, oh, I said in sickness and health, and you put that
Yeah.
on. He's sick. So like leaving becomes something that doesn't feel like an option, or you feel so
Yeah.
much guilt about it. Be like, well, I have to stick this out because he's sick.
And they do. I mean, she sticks with him through like a year of like rehab and like, you know, getting his, you know, self together. And it's tough. And she's just like, at one point, she's just like, I can no longer live this way. She's like, this is not the man I married. Like you're saying, Keegan, like, this isn't the person you married. This is
Right.
not even the same person.
Again, compassion,
He's not even
boundaries.
happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like-
He's not even the same person. And he clearly isn't happy either if you're acting in that manner.
Right.
Regardless of whether you are, you know, have no filter or not.
Right.
No filter doesn't make you more happy.
a dick,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. So anyway, she files for divorce. After the divorce, Marty settles into his new home. He uses his money that he got from the settlement for his accident, and he's able to buy himself a new house.
There's
in
no
Newaygo
amount of money that could ever be like
Yeah.
enough
to get out of that,
for
right?
something like that. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So he moves into this new home. He gets a little piece of land, and you know it's out kind of in the country, which is perfect, which is what he loves. It's not necessarily isolated, but it's not like, you know.
Did his love of hunting maintain?
Yes.
After the
Yeah.
Okay, that part of his brain wasn't affected.
Yeah. He's like, I remember that.
I remember I loved
them.
hunting.
I remember I loved killing deer. So he settles into his new home in Newaygo County, Michigan. Two of his children and his African gray parrot Bud move into his new home. I know. Bud his new
Bud the parrot.
Bud the parrot and two of his children.
The other one was like, nah.
Yeah.
I don't like new dad.
No,
I'm staying at home with mom.
I'm gonna say mom. New dad weird, but new dad lets us get away with anything.
It's true.
Yeah.
New dad's out hunting all the
Yeah.
time. House is ours.
I believe he has, from the way it settled out, it was like two boys and a girl. So I think the two boys ended up living with him, and then I think the daughter ended up staying with her mom.
Word.
I think, which kind of makes sense, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't ask them. They'll be in the next podcast.
Oh, great. Great.
As fate would have it, he runs into Glenna, and they like in the middle of, you know, Newaygo County, Michigan. He runs into
What are
an
the chances?
old flame. I know, right? And he happens to run into Glenna, and Glenna is in the middle of going through a divorce herself.
Oh, well, perfect
And-
timing.
Yeah, and the sparks hit again, and they are immediately like, what were we thinking ever? We were always meant for each other. And so they start their relationship. She is, again, in the process of divorcing her husband, Bob. And her brother said, because her brother was interviewed, described it as they were destined to be together. So everybody all their friends, all the family, everybody is like, these two were absolutely meant to be. Like,
when does this shit turn south? I feel it.
Love each other. It's coming soon. Coming soon to a theater
Every
near
time
you.
it's just like, they were so happy. They loved each other so much. I'm like, some shit went down. What happened?
In 2001, Glenna moves into Marty's, in with Marty and the kids at his home on his land. And they would enjoy hunting trips together, gambling trips, and they were basically inseparable, and they loved everything the same. They loved doing things together. So they really were like kind of a perfect match for each other. After some time together, they decided to get married at the Justice of Peace, and everyone said they were, again, perfect couple. This was the cap to their perfect love story. And after the wedding, Glenna gets a tattoo to celebrate their relationship. On the back of her shoulder, she gets property of Master D.
Keegan.
Oh, I'm shook so hard. I like couldn't even.
When are
form
you
words
getting that
for
tattoo
a second.
for Anthony?
Oh, I'm gonna actually throw up all over this table. That is so gross. Oh no, Master
D.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And his name is Marty, which does not
Durham.
start with a D.
Durham.
Oh,
His last
okay.
name.
Yeah.
So I'm
I was just
assuming-
gonna say.
I'm assuming it's or it's Master Dick.
Yeah.
Master D.
Oh God. I hate everything about that.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, I did too. I had to pause it. It was like,
Did you see a picture of it?
well, I mean, it was the reenactment. I didn't see
Oh.
the actual. Like, no, it was like a shot of it. So Marty's health is, of course, declining with all the things that he's gone through, and Glenna takes it on as a full-time job. Marty is becoming more demanding and controlling, and in the relationship, it's just he has a full-time job,
Right.
and he's fully disabled, or not disabled in the way like he can't fully function, but he has had to be on painkillers and
probably on
muscle
disability.
relaxers
Yeah.
and disability. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he cannot function like a normal,
Right.
and get a job kind of thing. So, and
Yeah.
taking
God,
care
that
of
would
him
be
is an actual
fucking hard.
Yeah.
That would be really, really hard for both of them. But like, yeah, if you have to be on painkillers, you're
Yeah.
never you never feel normal.
I mean, and legitimately so too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you
he's
have to be on them.
legitimately has like real fucking major
Right.
injuries that are
Right.
never going to ever heal properly, you know?
Yeah.
So May 12th, 2015, their neighbor Connie Ream, she starts to grow concerned that she hasn't seen nor heard from either of them in 24 hours. Kind of sounds like she must see them on a very regular basis, coming and going, or as in, just seeing them very regularly, because she doesn't hear or see from them for 24 hours, which I think is pretty quick. Like if my neighbor wasn't around for 24 hours, I probably wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
I would notice.
Connie sounds like a nosy Nelly.
She sure fucking does.
Nosy
Yes.
Nona all day.
Yeah.
So she decides she's going to stop by their house, all the doors.
What the fuck? I don't want. I understand that this might be beneficial to this story, but I also don't want neighbors who are in my business that much at all.
Connie needs to know what's going on. So she goes next door.
She's like,
No
I
one
brought
answers.
muffins.
Yeah. Hi. I brought a basket.
Baskets. I brought some new champagne.
It's Connie.
Hello.
Hey guys, just Connie here. Weird.
We are so stupid.
Oh Lord. Okay. So she stops by. The doors and windows are locked. First of all, bitch. Because she checked. Bitch.
Connie, get
Connie.
out of our business.
It's in one day.
Like, what if I was just on vacation? Like, yeah, I locked my door and windows.
Connie,
You
chill
weirdo.
out.
Well, on the second day, she goes back again. And the same. All the windows and doors are locked. She just can't fucking believe it. Why would they not answer her? She had a casserole.
Why?
Why won't you
Connie
answer?
with her casserole.
Connie's
Why
Cassie.
didn't you leave the door open for me? I
Right.
don't understand.
Well, on the third time, she goes over and
Oh
sees
my
the door is now unlocked. So she goes in.
Connie.
She goes in the house and she's like, she hears the dog barking in the back room, where she finds Marty and Glenna in the bedroom. First of all, that could have been found in the bedroom the wrong way. Bitch, mind your business.
Exactly.
The way she found them. No, she finds them both bloodied on the floor. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So
Fucking Connie.
at the same time, she had noticed that there were firefighters up the street at a local, like literally right up the street for a garage fire. And so she runs up the street to where the firefighters are already on this, again, small garage fire to get help. Help arrives and they call it in 2 bodies, DOA. So both dead on arrival. 50 minutes. First of all, right there, I'm like, listen, Connie.
right. Does Connie not have a job? Like, I'm like, how do you have so much
Connie
has
is
binoculars.
going to love giving the statement to the police.
Oh,
You
God,
just
yeah. Was
know
she-
loves
was she
it.
Connie has
interviewed?
binoculars. Oh, no, not for the.
Oh, okay. Because
Show.
I'm like, man, I
wish.
would have loved that. I want
me
to see
too.
Connie talk about how she's the hero of this story.
Right.
You know, poor Connie. She probably doesn't deserve all of this. But anyway,
She's like, I went over one time, no answer. Went over twice,
checked
no
all
answer.
the doors and windows.
I mean, because this just isn't like them.
Even though they're from Michigan, so they probably don't talk like that.
They talk like us.
Oh, wait, that's right.
Midwest.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
It's kind of country.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm back to there. DOA. But 50 minutes into their investigation, they check Glenna's pulse and realize that she is not dead.
Oh shit!
50 minutes?
55.
So she's
Zero.
like laying there, like, "Hi, can I get some fucking help?
Bandage.
Could somebody maybe
Water. Help.
help?"
But like obviously not conscious or
Yeah.
at all like able to say or do anything.
Oh my
50
God.
minutes in, somebody's like, you know what, let's check her pulse.
Isn't that fucking scary? Because
pulse.
like, what if she'd been alive when they got there and then she died and they were like, "Yeah, DOA."
Yeah.
Like, what if by the time they
I mean, it
checked
could have
her
been.
pulse, she was dead already? Like,
Absolutely could have been.
they never
Isn't
would
that
have
wild?
known. They just would have been like, "Yeah, they were dead when we got here."
Glenna arrives at the hospital with a gunshot wound to the head, two wounds to the head. So here it is. They aren't for sure if it's 2 or 1. They can't tell for sure, but it does look like there's 2 entry points. But they can only find 1 bullet inside of her head. So yeah, yeah. Back at the house, they find a Ruger underneath the love seat. The house is known to have money in it. They go through and they don't seem to see anything that seems too suspicious. But everything kind of needs analysis, right? So they're like, we'll send this gun in, or this house is known to have guns in it, right? So they have multiple guns. He shoots. He's a hunter. They have a gun case, all this stuff. So like it's known to have guns in it.
Yeah.
And so, it's not that suspicious that there is this gun that they find on the floor. It's a little suspicious that it's in the living room underneath the love seat. But they're not like,
Yeah, but I've lived in gun heavy areas, and like again, you guys need to be more safe with your guns. Don't just leave them lying around all over the place.
Right.
But I've been in homes that are like that. There's just kind of like, oh yeah, I keep one under the couch and I keep one,
just in case, intruders.
easy access,
Right.
Wow.
in case Connie comes over unannounced.
Right. With
Get the fuck out, Connie.
I've already told you.
Don't like your tuna casserole. Get out of here. We're never. Sorry, we've laughed too much through this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No.
All right. They interview one of Marty's sons. He says that he said, quote, "Oh, Dad, what have you done?" ? And I wrote the question mark. He probably didn't say question mark. Jesus.
And that's kind of weird. Isn't
It is weird. And this is from the actual the interview. I'm pointing toward my TV that
Yes.
Right.
yeah that I watched. So on the interview, he's like, "Oh, Dad, what have you done?" And asks of Marty how sorry Glenna is. And he admits that they have argued in the past. He doesn't seem overly concerned in that, like the way that he's like, yeah, they've argued in the past, but
normal.
people argue.
Yeah,
People
like
argue.
couples argue.
Couples argue. When asked about enemies, he says that they have painkillers, and that the only thing that can come to his mind as to why is that the family believes that they were selling leftover opioids on the street from what his prescribed medication.
Yeah,
so what he was
freaking
doing,
country is so rife with that kind of thing right now.
It's so common.
Very badly.
Well, and they give you so fucking many. Like, we still have, Anthony had mouth surgery and they gave him Norcos and he didn't like the way they made him feel. So he took like 1 or 2, but they gave him like
80,
so many. I'm like, he didn't need that many.
Right.
And so then people are left with like a shit ton of like leftovers.
And what else are you supposed to do with them? You sell them on the street.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what you do?
Yeah. So he
We don't do that.
What he had been doing is Marty had been taking his like way less of his dosage than prescribed and had been selling, and he was selling on the street. He could make $2,000 to $4,000 per bottle. And people were coming down from the reservation in the Upper Peninsula to buy, and there had been some recent payment disputes. So this is some of the stuff that his son is bringing to the police's attention, that there's been some disputes. They know that there was like recently some money, like kind of problems and things that had come up. And the next day, so that he, after the kids are interviewed and everybody's interviewed, the kids are now allowed to go into the home. They're able to retrieve the parrot and see the house. They go in.
Poor Bud.
I know, poor Bud. And they retrieve the parrot. They retrieve, like any belongings that they want to have kept. I think that's awfully odd considering like there was literally a crime there and we're not real sure.
Very odd.
Isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So while they're in the house, though, they notice that the house is completely torn apart, which they say is unusual. The couches have holes in them. They find multiple notes in these like manila envelopes underneath some paperworks and stuff. And they're saying, "I'm so sorry." They're letters that have been written to Glenna's family, and they're in Glenna's handwriting. They're letters to her children and her ex-husband saying things like, "I'm so sorry." And the family read them like they might be suicide notes. Like the way that they were written were like, "I'm so sorry. I wish I was, better for you." Things like that. "I wish I could have done better." So, but the family is like, his kids are like, "Would these look like suicide notes? Like these look like notes that you would leave somebody when you know that you're leaving. Right. You know that you're not going to be around anymore." You know what I mean? And so they give these notes to the detectives. They also find out that Glenna had, they found like a torn up paperwork in one of the drawers and had found out that Glenna had not been making payments on the house. The house payments, were not being made, and the house was about to go into foreclosure. The house was so far into foreclosure that the house was literally going up for auction and was scheduled to go up for auction on May 12th.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Dude, how fucking fascinating. This is fascinating is the wrong word, but that's the family annihilators, the people that like lose their job and then they get up every day and pretend to go to work. It's like people's like avoidance or whatever of a problem. I'm like, what did they think was going to happen? Yeah. They didn't play consequences as a kid either.
People who have no fucking like end, like what is your end game? I always think
the
that.
wildest thing for me is that they said that they owed $5,000 on this house, but yet the kids are saying that there was money and stuff in the drugs, safe, and they were getting money from drugs. Yeah, plus he's getting disability. They're making money.
So where's the money going?
Fucking money going? So they look into their assets a little bit more, and they notice that Glenna has a major gambling problem,
right?
And that she had been hitting up the casinos quite a bit, but they both had been, and that's something that everybody that was part of their gambling together.
Addiction
is a lot of gambling.
Weird to me because I'm just like, how do you lose that much money?
Well, and again, like, how do you have all this money in all your safes, but you can't pay $5,000 to keep your house from going up for auction?
Yeah, that's so weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. And I mean, this is his pride and joy. I mean, all he ever wanted was to own this house. Like this is his, you know what I mean? So, meanwhile, ballistics come back, and the gun that they had found, the Ruger, is a match to the bullets that were found in Marty, as well as
Glenna.
Glenna, thank you. Police believe that it was, at this time, they're kind of looking at it like, well, this looks kind of maybe like murder-suicide.
Yeah.
Because with this suspicious things, the money, the fact that the house was supposed to go on auction pretty much that day, all this stuff is happening. They say after shooting Marty 5 times, she then turns the gun on herself and shoots herself twice, and then puts the gun under the sofa and goes to lay beside him in the bedroom to die.
Okay.
Nope.
Question mark?
How do you shoot yourself twice in the head to the point where you're like completely incapacitated, but they think you're dead whenever they show up, but you have the wherewithal to... Why would you move the gun? You're dying. Why would you move the gun?
Why would you care?
Yeah, that's so weird. This makes me think of Culpable, that podcast that we're listening to, where it's like...
I kind of wish somebody would go in and really, really investigate, because there is still a lot of 50-50 on this.
Right.
So
shit.
Let me work my way through the rest of this real quickly.
Is Glenna still alive at this
Yes.
point? Yes. Okay.
They then discover there is missing money from both of the safes. The Durhams had seemingly decided that Glenna, this is the Durhams, which is the family, Marty's family, had basically agreed with the cops. They're like, Glenna, it's guilty. She definitely did this. This is a murder, suicide. And they leave her off of all the obituaries and any notices that they had for Marty and his funeral. It's quite sad. I mean, I guess it's sad as long as she didn't do it.
Right.
We really don't know.
Right.
After about a month of a medically induced coma, well, this is the thing. She is in a coma right now still.
Yeah.
So
Right. You have someone who could tell
She's
you
in
what
the hospital.
happened in
Right.
theory.
in theory, because she's still in a coma right now. Glenna does regain consciousness. She suffers from brain damage and memory loss. The police, as they were waiting to be able to interview Glenna, they subpoena her phone records and see that she had looked up the gun that was used in the shooting 3 times on the 13th of May. So they noticed, like, on her phone, she'd actually looked up this gun specifically on her phone. Police confront her. She denies denies any of that, and says that there are no answers really from the interview they have with her. She is, of course,
I didn't do it, but that's it.
yeah, like basically like, why would I kill him? I love him so much. This is the love of my life. Like, they show the interview and she's completely distraught, like crying. But people can put on an act.
Right.
I never will judge, because you never know.
Well,
how
I mean,
people act.
and it could be authentic too. It's like she could be that devastated. She intended to go out with him.
Right.
It didn't work, and now here she is without her husband.
Right.
And so she may be actually devastated.
Truly.
But maybe just not entirely for the reason she's saying. You know?
All this to be said is they really don't have a whole lot of information regarding, like, they're not able to, like, really fully link it up, and they don't have enough clues to say yes or no. So 7 months later, a surprise witness comes forward. And that surprise witness is Buddy, the African parrot. Who was there?
Plot twist.
So I am going to play you
Oh,
the
so
video
fucking glad.
that they played on the show, because it's fucking wild. And I will transcribe it for you if you can't hear it well. So I'm going to play that.
Chills.
Yeah.
Fucking chills.
So that is the bird saying. So that's not even the wildest fucking
Well,
part.
the bird
itself is going through, like, in the video, that's only part of it. The bird is switching voices. So the bird goes from this, like, high pitched voice that's like,
Oh, I don't like that.
F you, effing white boy. And then it's like, fuck you. I'm not fucking getting. It's like literally a fight. Like, the bird's voice goes from a high-pitched voice to a low-pitched voice that sounds just like him. And so you just heard
Oh, it's so creepy.
his voice.
Yeah, saying don't fucking shoot.
Don't fucking shoot. Is that the fucking most wild thing you've ever heard?
That's
Oh.
bananas.
So, of course, they take this video to the police, and they're like, we're pretty certain this is what happened, because this bird has been saying this shit. And,
Can you imagine? So the sons have the bird.
no. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you-
I didn't explain.
Oh,
So the ex-wife of Marty has the bird.
Either way,
Yeah,
can you fucking imagine you wake up in the middle of the night to that?
Oh my
Like
God.
I'd be like, oh no, poltergeist,
Bad
no.
bud. Bad bud.
No, but no.
No.
Don't fucking shoot.
And then it's changing voices. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't like this at all.
No.
It's like literally mimicking like tone. So it has a very distinct higher pitched women's tone versus a very distinct lower pitched men's tone. It is wild. It's wild. I wish I could have found a better video which kind of played both, but it's incredibly wild. At any rate, they do go arrest Glenna. They do, find that, Glenna does have slight DNA that's found on the pistol. The weird thing is that on the bullets or the casings, she has no DNA on the bullets or the casings, which is weird because the gun itself, the Ruger, has 6 shots, and they believe that 8 shots were fired, which would mean that she would have had to reload after being shot in the head. Right.
It's so weird.
I don't know. I don't know.
So on June 24th, 2016, Glenna is arrested, like I said. There are 2 glaring problems with this case, though, and that is if Glenna did it, where's the money? There's missing money out of the safes. Why would she take money and then kill herself, right?
Yeah.
And how does Glenna shoot herself twice in the back of the fucking head, clean up, and then hide the weapon?
Right.
Yeah,
underneath the couch?
that's why are they?
Who shoots
Why are
themselves
they
in the
clean-
back of the head,
Yes.
too?
They show
so
the wound.
weird.
It's literally right behind, kind of like back of her ear.
That's not what you...
It's weird.
Yes,
weird.
it's not as if
weird.
it's impossible to do that, but why
But
would you?
that's not what you do.
Right.
You do this.
Or you,
Or,
your mouth,
yeah,
or,
exactly.
Yes, like why would you? It
don't
just
do
it's not
weird
practical.
It is impractical.
That's super...
And
it is weird.
And I don't understand. I get so frustrated when law enforcement just gets stuck on an idea and then just continues down that path no matter what the obstacles are, because I'm like, what? Shouldn't it be like the simplest explanation is usually the right one? In what universe is it the simplest explanation that someone would shoot themselves in the back of the head, get up, clean up, move the gun, and then go back?
Go lay down.
Go
like-
lay down to die.
Yeah.
It's so
Why?
lay down to die. It's the weirdest thing, right?
Yeah.
Here's my thing too. Even with the parrot, and obviously the parrot's not testimony that's usable. It is just a wild.
I wish they would make the birds swear
Oh, no.
and birds on the stand.
But here's the thing. Even if he is mimicking the exact conversation that was happening, doesn't mean that there wasn't a third person there.
Yes.
Right.
Doesn't
Right.
mean
Another
Exactly. I don't-
another guy, another girl.
And
yeah.
she's like, you effing white boy. But that, I mean,
That could be anyone.
Anybody.
If you're fucking around with drugs,
yeah.
like,
And people are buying
Right.
product from you.
Yeah.
yes,
And
that
somebody
could be
owes you
anybody.
money. That could
Yeah.
be anybody. There's so much questionable in this.
Or someone, just knows that you keep opioids in your house and they're just like, let's go fucking
Yeah.
get them.
Yeah.
You know what I
So-
mean?
There is one thing though that the kids in the house do confess that when they went to the home, they did take the money. So the money that was missing from the safe was not from a robbery gone wrong. The kids say that they took the money.
Well, what about the pills? Did they check and make sure all the pills are still there? Because,
That's a great
somebody
question. Yeah.
who somebody could have robbed them for those pills.
I
Like,
mean, and the kids could have done that too.
opioid epidemics are,
Right. Oh yeah, it's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
On trial, though, the neurosurgeon that had performed the surgery on Glenna did say that it was possible for her to function with the specific injury that she got. That it didn't hit a main artery. She wasn't bleeding enough at the time. But I'm like, if you ever just bumped your head, a fucking head wound is a head wound is a head wound.
Who would, like, if you're going to kill yourself,
Yeah.
then
does it matter
if
where the
you
gun
have
is?
the wherewithal to get up and move around, why wouldn't you just shoot yourself again?
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Why would you get up and like do shit? Like,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
no.
After a week trial, on July 19th, 2017, after I saw somewhere on the thing, it said 2 days, but somewhere else I read 8 hours of deliberation. They find her guilty of premeditated murder with life in jail. Marty's best friend, so his best friend, who has known both of them since the very beginning, and of course Glenna's family, all believe that she's innocent. Marty's family, his children, and the ex-wife believe that Glenna did do this. It does put it all into a very, I find it to be very questionable. I agree with you, Keegan. My first question is like, it seems so fucking weird.
What about the kids? Like, could the kids have done it? Wouldn't that make more sense? Because what I'm hearing is like, I'm guessing that it was premeditated because they found the notes and because of what they found on her phone, that she had Googled about the gun.
You know what, though? Couldn't have, even after she died, couldn't they have done that?
And that's exactly what I was going to say is like, because to me, it's weird that she would Google that gun anyway when you're in a house with lots of guns.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, why would you be looking up that particular gun?
Right.
It makes more sense that someone else got on her phone and looked it up so that they could link like, oh, she was looking at this particular gun. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that makes more sense to me than that she did that, because
here's the other thing too. Maybe, I mean, we don't know what's the history on the gun. Where'd the gun come from? Who's it registered to?
Yeah.
Here's my question. Maybe they got this gun, procured this gun, and were like, maybe they went to sell it. Maybe they were looking at, you know,
right.
Who knows?
Because
There's a multitude of reasons.
If the kids took the money, there's motive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to pin anything. Like they lost their father. I'm not trying to like be insensitive. I'm just saying like, if looking at this from like an investigator standpoint, why her? Like whenever you clearly have,
they're saying it's because of the money.
Because she didn't pay the rent.
She hadn't been paying their mortgage.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They were literally about to go to auction.
And so they're assuming
they-
he didn't know this.
Right. They're assuming that he had no clue that was happening.
Yeah, my guess is he didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a head
That's
scratcher.
tough. Yeah, I
know,
mean,
right?
because that does change. There is motive there then. So I get that. Okay.
I mean, there's
I don't know.
definite doubt on all.
But yeah, I wouldn't convict. There's a little bit too much doubt to say like beyond a reasonable doubt she did it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I don't feel like that. There's too many weird.
Yeah, if I was on that jury, I'd be
Yeah.
like, it would be, you'd have to be really convincing for me to believe that she got up after shooting
herself in the head twice.
Right.
when her goal was to kill herself. It's not as if
Right.
she was trying
Right.
to stage something. Like
Yeah,
she
if
was trying
that's
to
your
kill
theory,
herself. Right?
Then yeah.
Then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So
doesn't.
true.
I don't know.
Good one.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Did you know
the
that one?
parrot? I thought it's a different one. I thought, I did not know that one. You pulled
That
out
parrot
the
creeped
parrot,
the
and
shit
I was
out
like,
of me.
I don't know about no
Oh
parrot.
my god!
I didn't
So
know about no
creepy.
parrot. Yes. Oh my
It is
god.
creepy, isn't it? Dude, I'll try to find you guys the long form one, but with the video with her when it changes its voice.
I don't like it.
Oof.
There was a thing on like NPR about this parrot named Alex. I listened to it driving from Columbus to Miami when we were moving down there years and years ago. And I remember we've been driving forever. I was so tired. And this researcher was talking about having this parrot for like over 30 years and like interacting with it every day, doing like all kinds of like experiments or like playing with it essentially daily for 30 years. Well, Alex got really sick. And she's just talking about what it was to like drop him off, and then like every night he would say the same thing to her. He'd be like, "I love you, goodbye," and like I'm just like listening to it, and I'm just like sobbing. Can you imagine? Like it's one thing. I'm like
30 years.
30 years.
Wow.
That's a lifetime. And not only that, it can talk to you.
Right.
So we're talking about like anthropomorphizing our teddy bears. Yeah. And of course we all have pets. We all have love for our pets. But now that pet can say
Oh my
things
god!
to you.
If my cat, when I'm cuddling my cat, could like put its paws on my face and tell me it loved me, I would die.
Literal.
I would die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to go find that story again because I remember just being incredibly touched by it.
like,
But,
oh.
yeah. I was like, oh.
what if little Chuck could be like,
Oh my god, are
I
you kidding
love
me?
you. Oh my god.
So what are you guys watching this weekend? Anything good?
Still in my Veronica Mars K-hole. But I did just find a new podcast, and it is so good.
What is
You
it?
guys are going to immediately want to download it. It is called The Clearing.
I have it.
Yep. And it's about Edwards, the serial killer, and it's the daughter who like pretty much got him fucking caught for it because she was like scrolling through her memory banks of like all the places that they were. She knew he was a bad man, but she was like,
I saw a special on that.
Yeah.
Okay, I will watch it. I mean, watch it. I will listen to that for sure.
He's good.
I finally started Ozark, which is good. I'm enjoying it, but it is a mind fuck for me because I'm from the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And I made my Facebook status the other day. I was like, I am simultaneously offended and homesick when I watch it because I'm like, oh yeah, that is how people are. And then I'm like, how dare they portray us like that? And then I'm like, no, but they're like that. So
You're like that. No, but that's real.
no, but real talk. That's lake life. Okay. But no, it's good. I'm enjoying it.
Well, last night at midnight, Queer Eye season 4 dropped.
Yes.
I saw. Oh my God. Yes.
So I cannot wait to binge it. It's
Hell
like
yeah.
watching a hug.
If you need to
it
feel
feels so good.
I think that's what I'm gonna watch because I'm gonna put my hair in twists, like box braids, like twists, and it takes like 6 fucking hours. I think that's what I'm gonna like put on.
Oh
Yeah.
To
yes,
like do my hair.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
a good.
That's
it's
a good
one
one.
of those good shows for that type of activity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, cool. Well, if you guys have any stories, suggestions for podcasts or things that we should watch, write us in at our on our website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. We also really appreciate it if you take the time to rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It's super, super helpful for us. And I think it's been a while since we've asked. So if you've been listening and you like it, please give us 5 stars and say something nice. It makes our day. And yeah, we love you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.